In this video, we're going to explore some more options with curtain walls. And in the last video, we looked at how to use a storefront curtain wall, how to create our own storefront curtain wall, and be able to put it into our building to add some windows and natural light into the areas that we are creating within the Keystone Library. On this one, I'm going to end up utilizing and creating some areas through the second floor level. So I'm going to go ahead and move to level 2. And from here, I'm going to create an opening in the wall. And what I can do here is on the Architecture tab and down to the Opening panel, I can find the Wall Opening command. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select the wall. When I do that, you're going to see a rectangle icon show up next to my cursor. Now I just need to pick along the wall. It's not really like a regular rectangle. It will automatically size to the thickness of the wall. All I got to do is pick where I want it to start and where I want it to end. So I'm going to go right in between the columns here. And I'm going to go ahead and set that in. And you're going to see here is the opening. If I go to the 3D view, there is what the opening looks like. I'm going to right click and say cancel a couple times. And if I select the opening, it is an item that I can go through and change. In my type properties, I'm going to set to be an unconnected height. And by default, it goes to 8 feet. I'm going to go ahead and change this to 12. Other heights can be explored, but I'm just going to go ahead and do 12 just to make this look a little bit more visually interesting. So here's my opening, and maybe I want to go through and utilize something like as a curtain wall to put into this opening that I have. So I'm going to go ahead and go to level 2. I'm going to go to wall. This time I'm going to choose the curtain wall 1, and before I get going too far, level 2, I want to go ahead and change the unconnected height, and I'm going to go ahead and set it to be the same height as my opening, which was 12 feet. And I'm going to go ahead and say apply. Now, here in the middle of my wall, I'm going to go ahead and draw this wall to bridge the gap between the two sections that I just had. Flip the arrows to the outside, and then I can go ahead and right click and say cancel a couple times, and there is my glass pane that I have there in the wall. Now if you forget to change the height, if I drag this up, you will get an error message on the glass pane. Like let's say it goes up past the opening, you will have this that will happen. The highlighted walls overlap. So we just have to go through and make sure that we have this all set up. So I'm going to go ahead and change the opening height. And then also make sure that my curtain wall is also set back to 12 feet. All right, so here's what we can do. This allows us to go through. I'm going to stay in the 3D view. I could do this from the elevation view, but I find it a little bit easier to do in the 3D view. I'm going to move over here to the left, and I'm going to hide this west wall here so that way I can kind of see a little bit of what's going on. Now this curtain wall, one option that I can do is I can create a custom curtain grid if I wish. So under the Architecture tab in the Build panel, I have Curtain Grid. Now if you look at the tooltip, the reason why I want to show you is if you want to create like a custom design like this, where something's a little offset, you can go through and set up your own kind of unique curtain wall designs. The other thing that I can do is when I use Curtain Grid, I'm going to go ahead and look at when I hover around to the edge, I'm going to make a height of 7 feet here, and then as I go up here to the top, maybe I want to do spacings of about 4 feet. I'm going to go from each end, and when I get to a certain point, it's going to try to maintain, but it gets hard to go through and do that. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to hit cancel. I'm going to select this line. Utilizing the temporary dimension, I got to select the line to move. And then I'm going to do 4, and then this middle section is a little bit larger, which is fine. What I can do is I have these lines in my curtain grid. To add the structural steel mullions that you see in a storefront, all I have to do is select this option. And I can choose single grid lines if I wish, or I can use all grid lines and just select the wall, and it will go through and outfit the curtain grid with the particular mullions that we want. So there's a lot of different options, a lot of opportunity here. I created this custom grid, and this allows you to do so. In our next video, I'm going to show you how to create curtain wall doors, to where we're going to have glass doors that we can come out from our curtain wall to be able to come out to the green roof and to go back into the second floor interior as we move from exterior into the interior of the building.